Celtics trying to even this thing up. Jason Tatum looking to play hero, down one, trying to take it to the rack, but Mikal Bridges, second straight game with a game-sealing steal. And that will do it for Boston as they go down 91-90 to the Knicks. Knicks go up 2-0 on the road, taking this one to TD Garden, stealing this one. The Knicks trailed big in this one. Came back on a 23-6 run. Meanwhile, Boston had 14 straight misses, went over 8 minutes without a field goal. The Knicks got their first lead with 2 minutes left in the game, closing this one out, now up 2-0, preparing to head back to MSG for Game 3. We are now joined by CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Ryder. Hold on, Bill. Do you hear that a little bit? I think that's Knicks fans cheering right now because this is now the second straight game that they have clawed their way back to a victory on the road over a Celtics team that a lot of people had maybe favored to go to the finals. But Bill, you and I sat here and we talked during the half, and I asked you, what do the Knicks need to do if they want to turn around this game in the second half? And you said someone needs to step up. Outside of Jalen Brunson, it looks like Mikal Bridges might have been that person.
Yeah. Bridges was amazing. Basketball is shocking. The world is upside down. I thought there was more physicality from the Knicks, too. And look, this is a repeat. For whatever reason, Kiana, whatever's going on in the universe, we have seen multiple times over the course of this postseason. The Boston Celtics, even though they could not shoot, even though their two superstars played far from that level, were up 9 points in the fourth quarter. It felt like they were in control. Again, they had a 20-point lead in this game. And you're right, Bridges was critical. Jalen Brunson hit big shots. The Knicks never gave up, and we blinked, and this game changed on a dime.
So now I have to ask you, right, what's going on with the Celtics? Because both games holding a strong lead. They've lost it late. They find themselves struggling to hold on to leads. And then we even talked about those three-pointers in Game 1 because it was history made. 45 missed threes, and then they turn around. Now they miss 30. Jason Tatum not having great outings. What's going on with the Celtics?
Yeah, I think you can boil it down to two things that Boston does, or two realities of Boston that is playing with fire, Kiana. I think they can withstand getting burned in one instance. They can't withstand being burned in both. And that is, well, you just noted, Jason Tatum has been unreliable, at least in terms of his efficiency. He's not shot well in the playoffs. Hasn't shot well in this postseason in either series. Didn't shoot well in the postseason last year when the Celtics won that NBA championship. And also that three-point shooting. And we know that Joe Mazzulla Ball, head coach of the Celtics, they shot a record number of three-point shots in the regular season, 48 per game. That means you're going to have these moments where you shoot a lot and you miss a lot. We saw them take 60 shots and miss, 75% of them. That's astounding in Game 1. They didn't take as many in this game. They took 40. They still missed 75% of them. They only hit 25% of their threes. So when your star player isn't playing well, and Jaylen Brown, again, was not able to bail him out. Brown and Tatum a combined 13 of 42, almost an identical line that they had in Game 1. They were 1 for 9 in the fourth quarter. When those guys aren't playing well, when Brown doesn't bail out Tatum, when you're taking a lot of threes, Kiana, and you're barely making any of them, that is a recipe for the kind of disaster Boston now finds themselves in.
Okay, so when I go back to Game 1, and I don't want Knicks fans coming after me and attacking me, but I felt like that game, it was more so Boston beating themselves rather than the Knicks beating the Celtics. How would you phrase Game 2?
Yes, and yes, it's both. So it's there. You can look at it both ways. The Boston Celtics gave away 2 basketball games. They played atrociously on offense. They could not shoot. And not just Jason Tatum. Both of their stars, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, have been awful. I'll say it again. 1 for 9 in the fourth quarter as that lead dissipated. So you can definitely put a lot of the onus on Boston in the way that they did not perform. But you have to have a team take advantage of that. I mean, this was still a big lead for the Celtics. They still outplayed the Knicks in the first half. And we talked about the fact that Boston was up 16 at one point toward the end of that first half, Kiana, and the Knicks were able to cut it to 9. And then that sort of held for a while. You knew the Knicks were going to keep it closer. They played a pretty good half, but it looked like Boston was going to win again in that fourth quarter. And so you certainly give Bridges credit. You give Jalen Brunson credit. Mitchell Robinson came in before Hacker Robinson took over, and he had to sit down. He played really good minutes. It is both. This kind of a game, and really 2 of these kind of games, games do not happen if one of the teams, the Celtics, don't give it away, and if the other team, the Knicks, don't seize both of those opportunities.
Seizing opportunities, because this is back-to-back games that the Knicks trailed and had to rally in the second half to come back. But when you think about it, how sustainable do you think this series, especially just considering how long it could potentially go? I know things are kind of leaning in the Knicks' favor, but is that sustainable to always be playing a game of catch-up?
It's not, but the thing is, like, the Knicks didn't shoot well in this game. They didn't hit a lot of their three-point shots. They got that percentage up by the end of the game. I think they got to around 30%, but they were right at 24, 25% at halftime. So, yes, there is, I think, again, everything's upside down, Kiana, so everything I say feels sort of hedged with this is the craziest playoffs I can remember in my life, in my career, in my fandom. I think that the Celtics are going to revert somewhat to that mean. They're going to hit more three-point shots. We've got to have better performances from either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, maybe both of those guys. But I think the same can be true for New York. And this is a team that has been outstanding in the regular season offensively. Their struggles were really on the defensive end. It's been sort of the opposite. It's been 90s basketball. I think the Knicks are due to shoot better and have an offensive outpouring as well. So yeah, I think it is sustainable. It's a long series. Boston's really good. They are dangerous. But we've said this before, in the history of these playoff series, if you go up 2-0, you win that series 92% of the time. And it's not just up 2-0. You just took 2 games on the road. Boston just gave away 2 home game advantages. So, yeah, anything can happen. Everything's been crazy. The Knicks are in real good shape.
They're in good shape, but we got to remember the Knicks didn't necessarily play great at home in their opening series against Detroit. And now that this series is shifting out to New York, anything give you confidence as we head towards MSG this time around?
The 2-0 lead gives me confidence. Jaylen Brown, you know what it is? There's a lot of factors. The best player on the floor, and I don't even think it's close, in the 2 games has been Jalen Brunson. And maybe the second best player, at least in this game, Karl-Anthony Towns. If I'm the Boston Celtics, I've shot this number of threes all year, and I've been able to rely on an amazing defense. I need Tatum and Brown to step up. I need those guys to at least push Brunson a little bit, and Cat, particularly in this first half, for just being the dominating face and presence on the floor. So the thing that I feel good about if I'm the Knicks is you've got the best player and you've got the best closer, and you're up 2-0.
Best player, best closer, and then you had a little bit of help there with Mikal Bridges. And I think what's important to me outside of that game-sealing steal that we saw to close this one out, he scored 14 points in this one, but he didn't score anything until the fourth quarter. How clutch was he coming up at the right time?
Yeah, Mr. Clutch. And the thing is, it's almost become inevitable if it's a close game. You get this feeling that he's just going to get it done and he's going to hit the shots. And he did. He hit a huge 3. He had a huge fadeaway. I mean, this is a team made of guys who win. These are winners. A lot of these guys together won in college. They've won over the course of this year, not at the level that we saw from Cleveland and from the Celtics, but this is a team that believes in themselves, from Mr. Clutch all the way down to the other guys, the defense.
This isn't just a playoff series anymore. This isn't just basketball. This is war. And right now, the New York Knicks are marching into enemy territory and planting their flag deep in the heart of Boston. 2 games in, 2 comeback wins, 2 straight gut punches delivered directly to the chest of Celtics Nation. Madison Square Garden is waiting. Game 3 is coming. But make no mistake, this series has already shifted, and the Knicks aren't just hoping anymore. They expect to win. Welcome back to the New York Knicks Report, your home for unapologetically bold Knicks coverage. And today, we are breaking down another epic comeback. A 91-90 grinder that saw the Knicks erase a 20-point second-half deficit and walk out of TD Garden with a commanding 2-0 series lead over the Boston Celtics. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. The Knicks are up 2-0, and they did it. In true New York fashion, tough, gritty, defensive, and with a whole lot of heart. Let's start where the lights shine brightest, Jalen Brunson. He didn't explode for 40 points this time. He didn't dazzle with ankle-breaking handles or circus shots, but when it mattered most, when the game was on the line, Brunson was ice cold. With just 12.7 seconds remaining, down by 1 in front of a hostile Boston crowd, he calmly knocked down both free throws to seal the deal. This is what leaders do. This is what clutch looks like. Brunson finished with 17 points and 7 assists. But the numbers don't tell the full story. His leadership, his poise, his decision-making, it all screamed franchise cornerstone. And how about Josh Hart, a guy who's built for nights like this? 23 points. He led the game in scoring. Every time the Knicks needed a spark, Hart lit the fire. He made the hustle plays, got the tough rebounds, and hit some crucial shots when the team looked like they were about to fade. And then there's Karl Anthony Towns. 21 points, 17 rebounds. And what's more important, he's starting to impose his will. For the first time in a long time, Cat looks like he knows exactly what his role is. Anchor the paint, grab everything in sight, and make Boston feel every inch of his 7-foot frame. But the X factor, the closer, the heartbreaker, Mikal Bridges. Points, all of them in the fourth quarter. Let me say that again, 0 through 3 quarters. But in the final frame, Bridges transformed. A corner 3 to cap a 21-2 run. The clutch shot that gave the Knicks life, and the biggest defensive play of the game, stripping Jason Tatum with seconds to go. No shot for the Celtics, no hero moment. Just Bridges taking the ball and the win right out of Boston's hands. This is why the Knicks gave up 5 first-round picks for him. This is why New York trusted him when the rest of the league questioned the price. This is why you never bet against a player built for big moments. Now, let's talk about Boston. They started hot, up 24-13 after the first quarter, up 20 in the third. And yet again, they collapsed. Why? Because when the pressure rises, this Celtics team cracks. Tatum, 13 points, 2 in the first half. And none when it really counted. Jaylen Brown and Derek White both had 20, sure. But look at the Celtics' shot selection. Look at their body language when New York made their run. You could see the fear creeping in. And Boston fans, let's be real. You're not booing because you're disappointed. You're booing because you know deep down this might be slipping away. Let's not sugarcoat it. Boston has now blown back-to-back 20-point leads at home. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. That's a problem. And guess what? Game 3 is in New York. Now I want to hear from you, the real Knicks faithful. Is this the moment we've been waiting for? Is this team finally built to make a real run? Tell me in the comments, who's your MVP through 2 games? Is it Brunson, the calm killer, Hart, the heart and soul, Cat, the rebounding machine, or Bridges, the silent assassin, and what adjustments? Should we expect from Boston? Do you think this series ends in 5? Or are we looking at a sweep? Let's keep it real, Knicks Nation. This isn't luck, this isn't flukes. This is a team built on chemistry, trust, and toughness. This is a team that gets better when the lights are brighter. This is a team that just might be the Celtics' worst nightmare. We've got a long way to go, but after 2 games in Boston, one thing is clear. The New York Knicks belong, and they're not backing down. Make sure to hit that like button if you believe this team is special. Subscribe if you bleed blue and orange, and drop your hottest playoff take below, because this is just getting started. Until next time, this is the New York Knicks Report. Let's go Knicks.